I'm Susan Harrow with PRSecrets.com, and we're here today at Bay Marin Aikido and Cotati Aikido with Ginny Breeland, 5th Dan, and today she's going to be talking about Do.
Hi, so I wanted to address the Do in Aikido. The Do is described as the path, the way, the road, and it's actually a journey. A journey is actually what defines it the best. Sometimes it comes to us by accident. We happen to be right there and we're doing this journey. Sometimes we look for it. Maybe you wonder one day, is this it? Is there more to life than this? And you start looking for something more. There's a void. Sometimes tragedy takes over and you're looking for answers and you come upon the way. Or sometimes you just want to be better and you look for ways to be better. So number one, it's a way is a little bit more than just a hobby. It requires diligence, integrity, commitment, discipline. And it also requires you being out of your comfort zone. So it's something you have to work at, something you have to invest in. Okay, and then the first step is actually finding what fits. So you don't have to do a martial art to find the way, the path. You don't have to run a marathon, although those things work to get you there. You don't have to necessarily do yoga. In this sense, the pen is parallel to the sword because you can also have as much commitment and integrity practicing calligraphy, practicing writing, practicing all sorts of other things that land you in your right brain, like meditation and tea ceremony. These things require discipline, commitment, investment, and they will take you to the place where you're looking to be a better person. The second thing that happens in the path is the place where we kind of run up against a wall, and that's when we start to recognize how we think. And this is where we can either quit or we can persevere. Because inevitably, when you do the road, the path, you will run into frustration and disappointment. And the question is, how do you react to these things? Do you go inward and criticize yourself to the point where you can't forgive yourself? Or do you go externally and blame things around you? Do you have a sense of jealousy if someone surpasses you when you're on the path? Do you have a sense of disappointment when you're not acknowledged? And these are all things we don't really like to think about because they're probably the worst parts of ourselves, but we all have them. And the idea is to meet this kind of grief with grace. So we accept ourselves and we embrace our shortcomings and then we release them to find something better. Because it's through bad experience you learn what good experience is, and it's through bad judgment that you can recognize good judgment. And thereby goes wisdom. The third step comes along if you get past the second step. The third step is when you actually become a lot more confident and you're making progress. People are affirming you, you're learning a lot, you're becoming enlightened, and you feel really good about yourself. The danger about this is you have to meet your confidence with humility because you could get quite an ego. And the narcissistic tendencies that we have just as human beings can overcome us, and that will shrink your growth and stop your growth. And in the long run, you don't want to be an expert in anything anyway, because an expert means you're done learning. So learning is a lifelong process. And so if you possibly can get past those two crucial stages, you eventually get to a place where you become surprised by yourself. You suddenly want yourself to be of service to others. And you don't know exactly when this happens. It actually sneaks up on you. Your desire is to be of service to people. And that is actually the end road where you run into compassion and empathy. And it makes us amazing people in that you learn to accept everything and oppose nothing. And in this sense, you become like nature. You give without expecting anything in return. You give with no discrimination. And when you reach this place in life, you're at the door. Joy is a little bit more accessible, and peace of mind is too. So that's what I think the Do is for me.
Thank you, Sensei Breeland.
Thank you.